Welcome back. In step 4, we are going to create the VPC resources. So the first thing here is we are going to create a VPC using AWS Management Console and learn all the underlying resources how we are going to create manually. And then we'll move on to creating the same thing using Terraform. So we'll create a VPC subnet, internet gateway, route table, and then route in route table, and then associate route table with the subnet, and also a security group inside that VPC in a step-by-step manner using the management console. And later we'll learn that we can build the same thing using Terraform. So let's go back to our management console and go to VPC, right? In VPC, our first thing here, okay, so we'll go to our VS Code and we'll go to C2 VPC, right? So our first resource we are going to create is VPC, right? So let's go to your VPCs and create a VPC. So I can just say this as temp VPC because I'm going to delete it anyway after this, okay? Or I can even say manual VPC, okay? And I'll provide the IPv4 CIDR block as 10.0.0.0/16, okay, 10.0.0.0/16, and rest all IPv6 CIDR block and then tags, everything I'll put it as defaults and then create a VPC. So with this we have completed the resource 1 creation manually. So the second thing is to create the subnets, okay? So let's go here and then create the subnet, okay? So in the manual VPC we will go ahead and then create the subnet, which I can say as pub subnet, or I can say public subnet 1. So availability zone, it's our preference. If we want, we can say US East 1A, and I will say 10.0.10.1.0.0/24, okay? So this is my CIDR block for this public subnet 1, okay? So now we have CIDR address is not within the CIDR because 0 and then 1, okay? So this should be like this because our CIDR block for the subnet is 10.0.0.0/16. So 10.0.1.0/24 should be the block inside this respective range, okay? So I'll create the subnet. So now we have completed resource 2. Now we'll create the internet gateway resource. So let's go to internet gateway here and create a internet gateway. So I'll say manual VPC IGW. Okay, so internet gateway got created. So whenever the internet gateway is created, we also need to associate this internet gateway to that respective VPC, attach to VPC, and my VPC is manual VPC, and attach it. So now the resource 3 part is also completed. The next thing is create a route table, okay? So let's go to route tables here and create a route table. So I will say manual R table 1, okay? In which VPC? Manual VPC, okay? And I will create it. So now creation of route table resource 4 is also completed. So the next thing is create a route in route table for internet access. So let's go to that route table. So manual R tab 1 and go to the routes, and currently it has the access inside this respective entire VPC CIDR block, which is 10.0.0.0/16. Internally it can communicate everywhere. So we'll add one new route saying the destination is across the entire internet, from entire internet, okay, using IGW, internet gateway. So let's go to internet gateway, manual VPC IGW. I'll be able to communicate with this subnet, okay? So I'll say save routes, okay? So we have enabled the access from entire internet using IGW, okay? To which subnet? So the next thing is to that respective subnet, okay? So we have completed resource 5. Now associate this route table with the subnet so that the traffic coming via entire internet via IGW can be associated with a subnet, so that subnet becomes the public subnet for us. Okay, edit subnet, select that subnet and then save it. So now we have completed the associate route table with the subnet. Okay, so the finally is the security group. So if you want to create a security group, so go here, go to security groups here and then create a security group. So I can say manual temp sg as the security group, SSH and HTTP will be my inbound rules. So why these rules are required is we are going to create a EC2 instance and then deploy a simple Apache web server, and for that web server port 80 will be the inbound, and to connect to this EC2 instance 22 should be open. And which VPC? Manual VPC. So we are associating this security group to manual VPC, and add a rule and search for SSH, right, and then add the SSH rule, and from the entire internet range allow for port 22, and I can say allow port 22. In the same way add one more rule which is HTTP, right, and say from entire internet range, and you can say allow port 80. And when you are creating manually via UI, you can see outbound rules here. Okay, by default all traffic is allowed for outbound. Okay, but when you do it via Terraform, so you need to explicitly define that. Okay, so which means like if you go to my backup and then go to this respective VPC, so you can see you need to define your egress ports detailed. Okay, so if not it is not going to work for outbound. Okay, so let me close this and then let's save it. Okay, create the security group. So now we have completed all the resources inside the section C2 VPC, right? EC2 instance we have created multiple times. We will do one more time also when we are doing via Terraform, not an issue for us, and the same we will do for Elastic IP also by referencing the documentation. But for VPC, multiple resources are involved. It is always good to do it manually, understand it what we are doing, and then do it via Terraform. Not only for VPC, for all the complex configurations what you are going to build, first build it manually, learn those things, okay, and then all the dependencies, and then implement them via Terraform. Things will be more easier for you. Okay, so in that line, so this is the thing we have completed. So this completes the creation. So now we can go ahead and then whatever we have created, the manual VPC, so that one we can go ahead and then delete it. So once we delete it, all the underlying whatever we have created so far, okay, so manual R table and then manual VPC IGW and then equivalent security group and then public subnet, everything will be deleted, okay, including the security group. So let me delete this, right? So it deleted everything. So if you even go for security groups also, nothing is there. Okay, so everything whatever you have created related to this got deleted. So in our next lecture, we'll go ahead and then implement the same thing via Terraform. So I'll see you in the next lecture. Until then, bye bye. Thank you.